Hello and welcome to Adonai Spiritual Formation Center, Damascus Road podcast. I am Robb Blocker.
And I am Pam Taylor.
And we are here doing what we do a couple of times in a month, just talking about God's Word and how it just makes us smile, it excites us. And I hope that as you're listening, it does the same for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that. I like how she said, mm-hmm. I give you a lot of compliments on this show.
That's okay. Compliments are acceptable.
You're receiving compliments this day?
Today I am receiving compliments.
Thank you.
Not every day, but today. Today's a good day.
This is good.
Mm-hmm.
Then welcome. Welcome back. You're awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we're here to hope that you enjoy your journey with ours as we travel up this road.
Yes. We can't do this journey alone. We need each and every one of you along with us.
Absolutely. And if I may, at the start of the show, because we may not say this at the end, but please like and subscribe, tell a friend, share it. We are now on YouTube, which is actually really awesome, and some great things are going to be coming that way through YouTube. And add a comment. Throw a comment up there. If there's something you've been thinking about that you want us to talk about and you want to join our conversation, please, by all means, throw it up there, and we will be glad to talk about it. Because we actually started talking about the Sermon on the Mount as we were preparing for this one. So get ready for that one to come through. But Pam, what are we talking about today, my friend?
We are going to talk about our good friend Job.
Job, not Job. Job. He is a friend.
He is a friend.
He is. He taught us, teaches us a lot.
He taught us a whole lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what's interesting about the book of Job? The book of Job is actually one of the 3 books of wisdom. You have the book of Proverbs, which talks about when you do good, all good things happen to you, right? The book of Ecclesiastes, which is sort of like the lament of the person who's writing it. Like, life really sucked. Like, life is just, it's like wind. Like, you do all this work and what do you get for it? You die. Like, and then that writer has a conclusion to the matter in all of that. And then the book of Job is sort of a balance between both. That you're doing good, but bad things can happen to you. But in the end, if you stick by your faith and endure, God will bless.
Yeah, Job is like that story you read, and there's a lot of anguish in it, but you endure until you get to the end.
Even as the reader.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Yes. I thought that's where you're going.
Yeah, as the reader, you got to get through it, but you'll be blessed at the end. And there's blessings all through it.
Yes.
But it's just one of those stories where you kind of grit your teeth and you just endure.
Yeah. It is that story. It's as you were saying that, it just made me think, like, if I'm the reader first time reading it, it's extremely poetic.
Extremely.
Yeah. So you can really see the image. The reason why it's written in this poetry form is to create the imagery for us of Job and his friends around him, sitting around. I imagine them around a campfire and they're like trying to help Job through this situation. But you do have to endure with Job as you're reading it.
Yes.
It's because we as the reader, we get insight that Job does not get. And it's in the first 2 chapters of Job.
Right.
Right?
Right. So this is probably going to be a 2-parter. So we're going to take our time and just go through it.
Yeah.
And see how far we get.
Yeah. It may be a 3-part. I don't know. We circle back to it at some point.
Yes.
So let me ask you a question. So before we actually dive into it, how many times do you think you read the book of Job?
Probably about a handful of times.
Okay.
About 5 times, maybe more.
And so let's take the 5 times. And through in the 5 times, do you think you read it at different points in your life?
Yes, I read it at different points in my life, and it said something different to me every time.
That's my impression of it too. sort of remember like reading it as a young Christian And it's like, wow, this is awful.
Right.
Because I didn't get the end, right? I'm reading it through, and maybe I didn't endure the first time.
I didn't get the beginning.
Okay, fair.
Like, what is that
Right.
all about? You know?
What do you mean God is like hanging out with some angels and so forth? Let's want to get into that part?
Yeah, let's just start.
So there's the prologue of the book of Job. So in chapter 1, verse 1, it says, in the land of Uz, I think that's how you pronounce it. I was going to say Oz, but that would be a totally different situation. I'm not trying to make fun. That's just me. There lived a man whose name was Job. This man was blameless and upright. He feared God and shunned evil.
So right there, that is going to be really important as we go through this whole chapter.
Yes.
It starts out, it just puts it out there. He was blameless and upright. He feared God and he shunned evil.
Right.
What else could you ask of a man?
So it's like he came out of the book of Ecclesiastes, right? Because the book of Ecclesiastes, not saying these are like all written at the same time, but the book of Ecclesiastes, the writer says, what's the conclusion of the matter? Right? To fear the Lord your God and obey his commands.
Right.
And then that's the totality of man. So here's Job living that life that way.
And the scripture attests to that he was blameless and upright. He feared God and he shunned evil.
Wow. Can I touch on something that's sort of hidden in that?
Sure.
In the land of Uz, Job was not an Israelite.
Right. I was just gonna really say that.
Yeah. So imagine, like, in our world of how we look at the Bible, we always see it, God is tied to the children of Israel, which is fine because that's where we're reading from that lens. But when you read that he's from the land of Uz, that means he's not an Israelite. So what kind of man? Where did he get that from to shun evil and to fear God, right? We don't have a necessary answer, but apparently God is extending himself to other people. It's like, hey.
Yeah,
Right?
Yep. I think that's why this is so relatable, because Job is anybody.
Right. Ooh, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, he is anybody.
Yep.
He's you or me.
Yep.
Or, yeah.
Yes.
Wow, yeah. That's awesome. So that's why I told you she's awesome. I'm giving her another compliment today. This is good. Wow. Yeah, that's rather exciting. And I'm trying to think in my mind, like, other people. So you had Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, who wasn't an Israelite, yet he feared God. And he was actually considered a priest.
Yeah, and so was Melchizedek.
We're about to change subjects.
Right. I mean, let's not go down that rabbit hole.
No. We should look down, because I think this is sort of the point, that it's anybody who is willing to fear the Lord and shun evil.
Right.
So somehow, somewhere along the line, they came into a knowledge of God for themselves.
Yes.
And then they followed that.
Right. And he lived it.
Right.
It says he lived it. He was blameless, upright, feared God, and he shunned evil.
Wow. That makes me put that on my own heart. Does that fit on my heart? I don't like to think that I feel
like if they wrote, if this book was called Robert instead of Job,
why would it be called Robb?
Robb, okay, with 2 B's.
Thank you so much.
And would it say the same thing? In the
Right.
land of Connecticut, there lived a man whose name was Robb. This man was blameless and upright. He feared God and shunned evil.
That's a litmus test. And I bet people are like, listen, like, is he? I do my best. I truly do my best.
And Job did his best too, as we'll see.
Right.
We'll see how he played this out. This
Right.
proclamation that they made about him.
Right. Wow.
So he had a lot of children.
Yep. He had 7 sons and 3 daughters. He owned 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 yoke of oxen, and 500 donkeys, and had a large number of servants. He was the greatest man among all the people of the East.
So he was a rich man.
Gee whiz.
But yet he still feared God and shunned evil. Now that was rare, right? Like
Right.
he was this wealthy man. He had a lot of family, he had a lot of cattle. Yeah. Job had it going on.
Yes. I'm going to say, like, as you were saying that, I'm rather excited about this conversation because I never, like, slowed down like this to read Job. Now, I have definitely pulled it apart in different sections, but, like, to slow down like this, like, my spirit is, like, really, like, buzzing right now. Because how many times have I read Job myself? Probably about the same amount of times you have, a dozen times, or 5 to a dozen times, who knows, right? But it has spoken to me every single time. And so now here we're looking at verse 2. He was a wealthy man because your wealth is based on your cattle, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, he had 500 yoke of oxen, 1,000 sheep, 7,000 sheep. Mm-hmm. Not just
3,000 camels. Says he was the greatest man among all the people of the East. He was well known.
Mm-hmm.
All of this is going to be so important as we get through the rest of the story about who Job was.
Right. Because he is reaping what Proverbs has said. When you do good, good things happen to you. So he's feared the Lord, right? And he shunned evil. So here's the result of that. So here he has his 7 sons, he has his 3 daughters, has a cattle, blah, 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 blah. And he's the greatest of all in the East. So he's doing what's right.
Right.
And he's seeing the reward of that. Once again, important information as you go into the book of Job.
Yeah, I mean, look at verse 4, right? His sons used to hold feasts in their homes on their birthdays, and they would invite their 3 sisters to eat and drink with them. When a period of feasting had run its course, Job would make arrangements for them to be purified. Early in the morning, he would sacrifice a burnt offering for each of them, thinking, perhaps my children have sinned and cursed God in their hearts. This was Job's regular custom. So even though he was not an Israelite, he did burnt offerings to God.
Wow. For each child. Mm-hmm. So he had 10 children. So he did 10 burnt offerings early in the morning after whatever their feast to cover their sins.
And it says this was Job's regular custom. He did this on the regular.
Right.
So his sons would have birthdays. So he had 7 sons. Mm-hmm. So that's 7 times a year.
Right.
Listen to the number.
I'm listening.
7 sons.
Yep.
3 daughters.
Uh-huh. Ooh. What are you saying?
7 sons, 7 birthdays, so 7 times a year.
Right. So we're talking about the number of completion, 7, 3, the Trinity.
Yeah.
I know 8 is new beginnings. I don't remember what 10 could possibly be if we wanted to really get into the numerology.
Right. I just thought it was interesting that he did this, right? It was for their birthday. So he had 7 sons. Mm-hmm. So that's 7 times a year.
Right.
That they would have these feasts and invite in the 3.
The 3 sisters. Ooh. Okay, God, give us the wisdom in that.
Like invite in the 3.
Yeah. Right, because it's not like it doesn't say like they had other friends. It was just they had these birthdays and they would invite the sisters. And then here's Job, like you said, 7 times a year he's sacrificing 7 oxen. Was it oxen or he just said?
It just said a burnt offering.
Okay. So he's doing that 7 times. Mm-hmm. Well, actually 10. Well, definitely 7.
Well, 7 because it says the sons would have birthdays and then they would invite in the sisters. So.
Wow.
Yeah, interesting.
Perhaps my children have sinned and cursed God in their hearts. So he did this as a sin offering.
Mm-hmm. On behalf of his children.
So he is stepping in. Mm-hmm. This is like, because it's reminding me what Jesus did.
Right.
He stepped in case Pam or Robb sinned. Mm-hmm. I'm going to take that.
I'm going to be the offering.
I'm going to be. Yeah, I just made a face.
Mm-hmm.
So now, as we think about this story of Job, is it this part of it is a sort of a prototype, or here's the poetic piece of who Jesus is. Because there is a story of 7 brides in the New Testament,
Yep.
right? So is there some that wisdom, that foreshadow of that?
There's
right?
definitely probably a lot more in these first few verses.
Yeah. Whoa.
So this kind of sets up who Job is. You know, he was this great man. He was a wealthy man, and he had these customs, right?
Yep.
And one of them was to make burnt sacrifice offerings on behalf of his children at least 7 times a year. He may have done it more often,
right.
but it talks about the sons would have a feast in their homes on their birthdays.
And drink.
And they would invite their sisters to eat and drink with them. It says when a period of feasting had run its course, so we don't know how long this period was. I mean, they could have been partying for days.
Yep.
Feasting,
right.
like you know how we do with our birthday. We want to celebrate the whole month.
Right.
You
right.
know.
And they probably did, or for a week or whatever, right? They're going to have a good time.
They called it a period of feasting.
So if you think about it, let's say if it was an oxen, right? So, I mean, Job got enough.
Yeah.
He got 500 of them. Or if it was a sheep.
I'm sure they slaughtered
like
the best lamb.
Dude, that was some good eat.
Just like the prodigal son.
Yes.
Got the fatted calf.
Yep.
And feast.
And then the son, who also had parties, and he was like, I never got that. The father's like, if you would ask, I would have given it to you.
Because it said that they were feasting and drinking and dancing and singing. Like they had a real big party for the prodigal son when he came home.
Right.
So, yeah, this kind of sets the stage for who Job is.
Wow. So just taking those first, 5 verses, we see that Job is an upright man.
Yes.
He's a righteous man. We can accept that.
Yes.
And this is what righteousness at this time looked like. Okay. I think we're good.
We're good, I think.
Because verse 6.
Yeah, we switch scenes.
Yeah. So when I used to direct films, I would do some sort of transition. Like, and maybe a fade to black. Like, wow, that was awesome. And they state, you're in the skies, in the clouds. And you come into this throne room where God is.
Yep.
We come. And then it says, one day the angels, or the sons of God, is also said, came to present themselves before the Lord. And Satan, which also means the adversary or the opposer, also came with them. Wow, so he's rolling with them.
He's just rolling all up in there. He's like, oh, the throne is open. Let's roll on in. Just
let me see what's going on.
Hanging out.
Right. And then the Lord said to Satan, where have you come from? And Satan answered the Lord, from roaming throughout the earth, going back and forth on it. Then the Lord said to Satan, have you considered my servant Job? There is no one on earth like him. Now, this is God proclaiming this now, right? This is not just the narrator saying who Job is. This is God saying there is no one on earth like him. He is blameless and upright, a man who fears God and shuns evil. And then verse 9 says, does Job fear God for nothing? Well, that's a great question by Satan, though. I can't get mad about that question because everything is great happening for Job. And so he said, does he not fear you for nothing? It's a great question. And he goes, have you not put a hedge around him and his household and everything he has? You have blessed the work of his hands so that his flocks and herds are spread throughout the land.
Okay, stop there.
Yes. I feel like
so who is Satan, right? He is the accuser.
Yes.
It says he accuses us before God day and night. And this is an example of it.
Right.
He comes rolling in uninvited. The Lord didn't put him out. He was just like, hey, where have you come from?
Right.
Satan's, I've been doing my Satan thing.
Right.
I'm roaming back and forth through the earth. I'm here, I'm there. And God's like, let me give you something to think about.
Right. So they're having this dialogue between each other. Can you imagine this in your mind? The Satan. And so I want to be clear that when it says the Satan, it looks very much like a seraphim. When you look at the book of Isaiah, when he describes a seraphim, it's a serpent-looking creature with wings. So that's one way it could look. And it's speaking to God. And they're having this conversation. I don't think God was surprised that he was there. All the angels are coming. And maybe in another time we could actually talk about what this room in space is.
Right, and why they come to present themselves before God.
Because it's a divine council. And so this is a very normal thing that happens, and it happens several times throughout the scriptures. So here is Satan coming, and they have this conversation. And like, it's almost like this is a regular conversation they have. I'm just going around the world, just roaming. God knew what he meant by that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's why I'm thinking this, because at some point in the New Testament, it talks about Satan going around the world seeking
whom he can devour and destroy.
Right. So God knows this about his adversary, the one who's going to oppose anything that he does, because that's what the Satan does. It opposes anything that is good.
Yep.
It's not necessarily evil, but it will oppose anything that is good.
Right. So God brings up Job. He's like, hey, I know you like to mess with people. I know you like to do your adversarial thing. Have you considered Job?
Right.
And then Satan kind of gets whiny about it.
You said whiny.
And he begins to accuse, which is what he does. That's his job, right?
So do you think that question, does Job fear God for nothing? Do you think that's the accusation?
That is the accusation.
Interesting.
That is the accusation. Okay. Yeah, he fears you, but only because you have this hedge around him. You take that hedge around him, I bet you he'll curse your name. Like, that's the accusation. He's not really upright.
Ooh.
He's only upright because you have a hedge around him.
Right. Because in verse 10, he says that, have you not put a hedge around him and his household and everything he has? Okay. You have blessed the work of his hands so that his flocks and herd are spread throughout the land. So I have to honestly say, I didn't take that as an accusation. I think Satan was presenting the facts. This is why this is happening to him. This was it. But then when you get further in, it goes to verse 11. He says, but now stretch out your hand and strike everything he has, and he will surely curse you to your face. So he says to God, he's trying to get God to strike him. Isn't that crazy?
Well, no, that's his job.
That's his job. Okay, fair.
So we've been talking about this forever, Rob. The snake has to be the snake.
The snake, and he's doing his thing.
The snake has to be the snake. The snake can't do anything else but be a snake. And God knew that. So God's like, okay, let's play this game.
That's what I feel. And that's why I said, as the reader, we're upset. We get upset with Job, but Job doesn't know this is happening.
Going on, because this is a prequel to what happens to Job.
Right. And so there are these things in the heavenly realm we don't know that are taking place.
These conversations that are taking place.
Right. About you, about me, about you as a listener. We don't know. We don't. Oh, this makes the ending of the book even more fruitful.
It does. And I mean, I guess we can say now that, even though these conversations take place, God never loses the upper hand.
No. And
that's important to know right from the beginning. God would have never said to the adversary, have you considered my servant Job? If he didn't already know the plan that he had. This is all God's plan.
Right.
Right? And the adversary plays right into it, right? Because the adversary is the adversary.
Right. But
God always had the upper hand here. That's important to know, because you're like, they're just messing with people. They're just up there in the council, just messing, just calling out names and messing with people.
Yeah.
Like, is that what God does? It sounds cruel, right?
So to that point, God also knows Job.
Ooh, yes.
Because he said it. he said, have you considered my servant Job? Because he fears God and shuns evil.
Mm-hmm.
He knows his heart.
Yes.
He knows Job beyond the wealth and everything else, right? Because once again, we said, like in Proverbs, it says if you do good, good things will happen. So Job is doing good because he's fearing God. He's shunning evil. He's doing sacrifices for his children. Then these blessings come. But God, the Satan, could not do anything unless God said so.
Right.
So have you considered, and have you thought about this guy, Job? And apparently he has.
Well, let's think about, like, what was he really asking him? Have you considered my servant Job? Right? Because Satan's like roaming back and forth, right? And if his job is to bring accusations or just to destroy,
right?
And God says, have you considered Job? Satan's like, well, yeah, but you've got a hedge around him.
So he has considered him.
Right.
That's what I was going to say. Like he has, because he said everything about Job.
Yeah.
He knows
he
about
knows
you.
him. He's probably seen him before. He's looking at him. He's watching him.
Yeah.
But he knows he can't touch him.
So can I share, I heard this interview with Mike Tyson, and he was talking to this famous, I don't know the guy, but he's a world famous MMA boxer.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike Tyson said to the guy, all these good things are happening to you because you're favored by God. And the guy was like, yeah. He sort of like blew it off. But he's like, no, like your success in the ring and everything that's happening to you is because you're favored by God. But do you know who else favors you? He said, the devil. And I was like, that's Job. God is favoring Job, so does Satan. And what Mike Tyson's, his conclusion of the matter was, whoever you came to the party with, make sure you leave with. And I was like, yo, Mike just dropped jewels, Mike. Appreciate you. Shout out to Mike Tyson if you're listening to this podcast. So, of course, God is asking the question, have you considered? The Satan has considered him.
Yep. He said, yep, I know all about him.
Mm-hmm. And these are the
you
things.
You bless the work of his hands. He's the greatest guy in the east. His flocks and herds are spread throughout the land.
Mm-hmm.
You put a hedge around his household and everything. Like, yeah, he knows all about him.
Right.
He says, now this is what I want you to do, God.
Yeah.
He says, I bet you, let's make a bet. Let's make a gentleman's wager here.
Yes.
You stretch out your hand, strike everything he has, and he will surely curse you to your face.
You notice he didn't say strike Job.
No, he said take away everything he has.
Take everything. Because that was based off the wisdom, that if you're doing good, then all these things. So take those things away from him and then watch what he does.
God says, I'll take that bet.
Okay, before we say what God. So is the Satan actually accusing God of what God has done? Right? I'm thinking, does Job fear God for nothing? Have you not put a hedge around him? Have you not done these things?
Well, I mean, you could look at it that way.
You could disagree. It's okay.
No, it's okay.
Processing it.
I
this
think,
is awesome.
God knew what he did. Job knew. Satan knew what he did too. Like he put a hedge. There was a hedge around him.
Right.
And I still think the accusation was against Job.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it's almost like Satan was saying, well, let's test it out.
Right.
You don't like these righteous people you say you have. They're really not as righteous as you think they are. Like literally the accusation.
Well, so then maybe it goes both ways then. Maybe Satan is trying to, like what we call in psychiatry, with like splitting, right? So he's trying to split God and Job. Right? So I'm going to accuse Job, but hey, you put this thing around him. And if you reach out your hand and strike everything he has, surely he'll curse you.
He'll curse you to your face.
Right.
He's not as righteous as you think he is.
Right. All these people, like you said, all these people that you say, right?
Yeah, because I've been back and forth through the earth. And,
I see him. So jump to the part you're saying God took the wager. We're going to call it a wager, right?
Verse 12, the Lord said to Satan, very well then. In other words, I'll take that bet.
Right.
He said, okay,
let's do it.
Let's do this.
Right.
You want to play this game? Let's play it. Very well then. Everything he has is in your power, but on the man himself, do not lay a finger. See, that shows you that all the power is with God, and Satan had to come in and request.
Right.
He had to make a request of God.
Right. He made it of God, but God put it on Satan. But gave him permission to do what you want.
He gave him the power to actually do it. He says, very well, then everything he has is now in your power.
But on the man himself, I love the poetry of that. I love how that's written. On the man himself, do not lay a finger.
So God wrote out the script. You can do this, but you can't do that.
Right. Whoa.
Satan's like rubbing his hands together. Because then it says, then Satan went out from the presence of the Lord. Oh, he was on his mission. He's like,
well, he gave him permission.
Yep.
There's no need to hang out here. I'm going to go.
He's like, okay, I got something to do.
Yeah.
No more roaming back and forth. I got a mission.
And God gave him the authority to do that. It's in your power.
He gave him the power to do it.
Yeah, go do that.
It's not just the authority to do it. He gave him the power. So when Satan came into the presence, he says, well, where have you come from? He said, I was just roaming around.
Right.
It's like he didn't really have any power to really do anything, right? He said, I'm just roaming back and forth.
Right. He was unemployed.
Right. He was looking for some per diem work or something.
Exactly. So he comes back to the Father.
So he comes back to where the power is.
Whoa. He comes back to where the power is.
To get the power from.
To go do what he is called and created to do. To oppose the goodness of God.
And to accuse the brethren day and night before the throne of God.
Bro. Okay, I'm still holding on to this. I'm still holding on to, because I go back to the garden, because we had the same situation. We call it a serpent, but it was Satan. It was opposing, right? And so he says to Eve a very similar thing. Did God truly say?
So this time he was accusing God.
Yeah.
Because he said, only reason why he told y'all that is because he don't want y'all to be like him, knowing good and evil.
I think I'm laughing because you're shaking your head like my sisters do when they letting you know that it's the truth. And Satan was like, yo, I'm telling you. So that's why I think in some ways he's doing this here. Maybe he's trying to poke and prod and see what God would do. And he says, so you have
calling God a phony. Like you're like.
No, the only reason why this is happening because you've been giving him all these good things.
Yep.
Right? And then God's like, okay, cool. Let's roll with that. There's a scripture that's going to clear this up. I'm sorry for me. So this is the beauty of a Damascus Road. We can have this conversation. It's not a right or wrong. Right. It's just our perspective. And because the right of all of this is that God is in the control of this.
Yes.
And this is the thing that Job does not see for himself. He cannot grasp that there's something higher happening for him. And I'm sure Job was like golden. Like, you got you read the first 3 verses. Everything is great.
Yes.
Doing everything. And who knew that this conversation was happening except for God and the Satan? Wow. So before no, I don't want to say that. Let's read what happens to Job.
Okay.
Verse 13.
One day, when Job's sons and daughters were feasting and drinking wine at the oldest brother's house, one of the 7 sons,
they're having that party,
a messenger came to Job and said, the oxen were plowing and the donkeys were grazing nearby, and the Sabeans attacked and made off with them. They put the servants to the sword, and I am the only one who has escaped to tell you. So it begins. He starts with his possessions.
Yes.
They're having a party like they usually do. And his 500 yoke of oxen.
Right. Snatched.
Whoever these Sabeans are, they attacked. made off with them.
Oh, the donkeys too. How many donkeys did he have? He had 500 donkeys too.
Oh, yep, and the
They
donkeys.
took those. Okay.
The oxen and the donkeys.
The two most stubborn animals on the farm, by the way.
Ooh. And killed everybody. So there must have been a lot of people tending to these 500
Right.
oxen and 500 donkeys.
Right. Didn't enslave them. Straight up killed them.
Killed them.
Wow.
They put the servants to the sword, and only one escaped because he had to tell the story.
Yes. So it has begun.
It has begun.
What God commissioned the Satan to do, it's in your power to do this thing. Go do it.
Yep.
Verse 16.
While he was still speaking, another messenger came and said, the fire of God fell from heaven and burned up the sheep, 7,000 sheep.
Wow.
And the servants tending to the 7,000 sheep.
Mm-hmm.
I am the only one who has escaped to tell you.
All right. That sounds like a lie. Where's the lie? It was the fire from God. Do we think that Satan is trying to twist this story a little bit? Because he's saying, like, God extends your hand. So if it's just fire, if it's just some man who comes, I wouldn't be too concerned with it. But then you're going to say it's the fire of God.
It says that's their interpretation of it, right? So fire, it says the fire of God fell from the heavens.
Okay.
So if fire is raining down,
where else would it come from?
right? Because remember, God gave the Satan his power. Satan didn't have any power.
Right. Ooh.
Remember that.
Okay, I'm remembering.
He
said
gave
it's
him
in your
his
power to do.
So now he's operating within the power of God, because that's where the power came from.
Yep.
So
That
the
is
fire
curious.
of God, technically true, right? Technically.
Right, technically. But we know it did not come from God. Because we were privy to the conversation. So I think this is my point. So we were privy as the readers to be in the throne room of God in the council and know what was going to take place. And then on earth, because this fire is coming from heaven, we say it's coming from God. Because we have seen that before. Not sure like where the book of Job falls in the historical relevance, but we've seen that with Elijah in the book of Kings, that he called down fire from heaven.
We saw it in Sodom and
Gomorrah, right? So the story is that if there's fire coming from the sky, it's coming from God. Okay. Find it interesting that at this moment it's being said, I think, to get Job to think like, why is God doing this to me? So I think that starts the conversation that carries out throughout the rest of the
Because
the
if
book.
you have just someone attacked, right? Oh, that's awful, right? But then fire of God is raining, and Job's got to be like, wait.
Right. What did these kids do? Okay, continue reading, because that comes up. Okay.
While he was still speaking, another messenger came and said, the Chaldeans formed 3 raiding parties and swept down on your camels. 3,000 camels.
Right.
Made off with them. They put the servants to the sword, and I am the only one who has escaped to tell you.
Oh, the Chaldeans. That gives us sort of an idea where this is all taking place.
So the Sabians and the Chaldeans.
Oh, verse 18. It gets better. This is all happening like
one after
within
the
the
other.
hour.
Boom,
Right.
boom, boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom. While he was still speaking. So if you imagine, these servants are running up and they're telling him, then another servant runs up and he's still talking, and another one runs up, and then another, like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
While he was still speaking, yet another messenger came and said, your sons and daughters were feasting and drinking wine at the oldest brother's house, when suddenly a mighty wind swept in from the desert, struck the 4 corners of the house. It collapsed on them, and they are dead. And I am the only one who has escaped to tell you.
Wow. So this is all happening within like one day. Satan leaves. Next thing you know, these things will start to happen to Job. And can you imagine just one bad news after the next bad news? Not too bad like your cattle. You're going to be upset. You just lost 1,000. No, wait, how many cattle? I mean, it was, I don't know,
500 yoke of oxen and 500 donkeys.
And then you lost your 7,000 sheep to the fire from heaven, from God.
And then you lost your 3,000 camels.
Yeah.
And all the servants who took care of them.
Gone. And then here's the cherry on the top of this ice cream. A wind just came, blew the four corners of your house, and killed all your children.
Yep. And all the servants that were there as well. And only one escaped to tell you.
Right. This, okay, I use this word quite often on Damascus Road. This sucks right now. This really, like, this can't feel good to Job.
But look at Job's response.
Okay.
And we're going to end this session here.
Okay.
And then we're going
Sounds good.
Part to it.
Okay.
At this, Job got up, tore his robe, shaved his head, and he fell to the ground in worship. Whew. My God.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
He just lost everything.
Right.
And what did he do?
Right. He lamented. You're feeling
Right.
sorrowful. Let me take all this off.
He
Let me
tore
shave
his
my
robe,
head.
he shaved his head, but it said he bowed down
Wow.
to worship.
Right. So in the true essence of worship, it was to deny himself. I have no control over this. God, I'm surrendering to you. I'm shaving. I'm taking all my clothes off. I'm just going to surrender to you.
That was his first response.
Right. Right.
Was to go back before God.
Mm-hmm.
Tore his robe, shaved his head, and just
lowered himself to that.
and worship.
Wow.
And he said, "Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I will depart.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised." Like, you got to be kidding me right now.
Wow.
You got to be kidding me right now.
Right. That's his response.
That's his first initial response.
Right. I'm going to worship, and then here's my prayer unto God. That you could take and you could give. I will return back to my mother's womb. This has happened. Praise the Lord. I'm like, okay, so in my heart right now, just like thinking about it, I'm like, I'm like pretty broken up about this.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything has been taken away, including your children. If it probably wasn't the children too much, you're like, okay, I can probably get the cattle back. But now it's your children. And anytime a parent predecease or the children predecease the parent, let me say that again. Anytime a child predecease a parent, that's pretty heart-wrenching. And now he's like, praise be to God.
Job was the greatest man in the East, and it listed everything he had, right, in the beginning of chapter 1, and he lost it all of it, gone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So what's Job's conclusion of the matter, verse in chapter 1?
In all this, Job did not sin by charging God with wrongdoing.
So if we were to put ourselves in that space, and we have been in that space in various degrees.
Not that degree.
No. Right, thank God. Yes. God didn't say, well, I consider Rob. No, let's not do that one. We'll modify this whole situation. But I recall when I failed nursing school, and I didn't pass my exam by 2 points. And I remember I left the exam in my spirit. I didn't pass this, but I'm like, God, but you're going to help me pass this. I have to pass this. And I go to the church and I just praised him and just prayed and prayed and prayed. And I finally sat down and the Lord said, you did not pass. And then I got the message on my phone, like truly moments later, you did not pass. I remember dropping to my knees and saying, Lord, then let your will be done. Was I mad about it? Was I crying about it? Was I frustrated? Absolutely. All those things. I lamented. But very much like that, it's just like, God, yeah.
It's just like David with the baby.
Yeah.
Right? The baby that Bathsheba had. You know, God said, look, the baby's not going to make it.
Right.
But David lamented, same thing.
Yep.
Tore his clothes, shaved his head.
Yep.
Was in a period of just worshiping before God. And once the baby died,
Yep.
okay, Lord, that's your will. He got up, went about his
himself,
life.
got some food.
And kept it pushing.
Yeah. And even his elders around him, they were like, well, you know, why are you eating? He said, I can't change God's mind now. What has been done is done.
Yep.
I have to accept that. So very much what Job is doing here. This has happened.
This has happened.
I'll accept it.
And he will accept it.
Right. But he's not going to curse God.
Wow.
So God won that bet.
He won the first bet.
Yeah.
Right? That was bet part 1.
Yeah, part 1.
So there's more.
Yes.
So
ooh.
I think we'll
pause here?
We'll pause here.
Because we know the conclusion of the matter was that Job, in all this, Job did not sin by charging God with wrongdoing.
So
yeah.
God, 1 point, first round.
Yes. Yes.
God 1, Satan 0.
And just keeping in mind that you yourself, when you're going through things, just know there's something higher than you that's happening.
Yeah.
And be on the winning side. Whoever you came to the party with, leave with. Stay on God's side.
Yes.
Whew. All right.
All right.
All right. So we're going to pause here, and we'll see you. We'll continue this conversation in the next episode of Damascus Road.
We'll do Job part 2.
Until then, enjoy the day. This is Robb Blocker.
And this is Pam Taylor, and we thank you for joining your journey with ours.
Absolutely. Take care.